Donald Trump is looking to save his sinking campaign, and as you can imagine, that effort is not going well. Donald Trump has decided during this week of the DNC that just wrapped up that the way to save his campaign was to get out on the trail and give more speeches than he has before because, of course, Donald Trump was being mocked for just sitting around his golf club, not doing anything, giving the occasional weekly press conference that just made him seem more unraveled and out of touch than ever before. But Donald Trump also thinks that the best way to save his campaign is with a new endorsement. And I'm surprised he would even want the endorsement of this person because RFK Jr., who came out today and suspended his campaign for president, gave his support to Donald Trump, is maybe one of the only national politicians with as low of an approval rating as Donald Trump. So while Trump may be getting some of those RFK voters, I don't think that combination really screams that these people are stable or that these people aren't incredibly radical like the policies that we see, of course, from Donald Trump, but from RFK as well. And it's so funny because I'm not the only one who thinks that RFK Jr. has radical policies. Donald Trump's own campaign does, and they said this about RFK Jr. just a short time ago.
RFK Jr. supports a national federal smart grid that would control how long we can keep the lights on in our homes, how long we can keep the water on. That is communism, not capitalism. President Trump opposes that, and I think the American people do.
So the person who Donald Trump is giving a speech alongside with today is a communist in the eyes of his campaign spokesperson. I just find that so funny. This is the flip-flopping, hypocritical, lie-at-all-costs Trump campaign, and really the embodiment of Donald Trump in that hypocrisy right there. And Donald Trump is out on the campaign trail today in Arizona with RFK after receiving RFK Jr.'s endorsement. And wow, did that speech, again, we can't even call them speeches anymore. Did that rambling diatribe, did that get off the rails fast? It really did. And having RFK Jr. up on stage with Donald Trump, maybe the crazy doubles, maybe it gets squared, but it was just out of control. And it really started with Donald Trump saying this.
We've been a little bit on the opposite side of the equation, but I will say this, he is a brilliant, I still think of him as young. He's not that young. I always call him young, but he's not that young. But
I don't know what Donald Trump, I've never understood really what he's trying to say, but sometimes it was easier to translate. Now I don't even know what he's even trying to do. He's kind of just riffing up on stage. RFK is young, but he's not, but he is, but he's not. He can't make up his mind about what he wants to say. And it got so out of control. And we're going to continue to watch this ridiculous speech from Donald Trump. But it got so out of control. Trump made a shocking admission about his own campaign that really shows where his head is at in this race, why he thinks he needs to reset his campaign. And of course, in doing so, Donald Trump is just hurting his campaign even more, but we can start to see where his head is at. And I don't know why he thinks this RFK endorsement will help him in any way with all the baggage that he has, especially with RFK saying things like this.
And don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Now, of course, RFK Jr. is a prominent anti-vaxxer, a denier of the science, but I don't know why Donald Trump would want to remind us of his, I don't even want to call it a relationship to science, his attacks on COVID protocol during the pandemic, telling us to just inject a little bleach in ourselves. Maybe that would help. Take some horse medicine. That would make the pandemic go away. I don't know why Donald Trump is reminding us of that. And it's also reminding us of one of the scariest threats that he has made in this campaign. And there's a lot of them. But in Project 2025, Donald Trump talks about, and he does on the campaign trail as well, that any school that has any sort of vaccine mandate, any public school, won't get, in Donald Trump's own words, a penny of federal funding. Now, it's not that Donald Trump is against COVID vaccines. He's against vaccines broadly. So it seems like the Trump campaign's new slogan should be make smallpox great again, because that is what this policy would do. And it's just so scary. And RFK Jr. is a reminder of that. And I know the Kamala Harris campaign is going to hit back against Donald Trump exactly for this, and it is going to upset Donald Trump. That's why in just a second, we'll check out the shocking thing that he said during the speech. But before we get to that, I want to hear what he had to say, really rattled from the DNC, about Barack Obama.
Barack Hussein Obama got far fewer votes the second time, and he won. He won. Have you heard of him? Barack Hussein Obama. Remember Rush Limbaugh? Barack Hussein Obama. He was nasty to me. You know, he was nasty. Michelle was nasty. They're all nasty.
Donald Trump is clearly still really reeling and shaken up and rattled from the DNC. I think Barack Obama, more than anyone in this world, can push Donald Trump's buttons and get him angry. And so the hilarious lines and attacks and really truth bombs that Barack Obama dropped on Donald Trump, of course, we remember the little suggestion about not only the size of Donald Trump's crowds, but maybe the size of something else that is really driving Donald Trump into this tailspin. But I think Jessica Tarlov had such a perfect response to this that I just want to check it out.
And people complaining about the tone or the tenor of it obviously didn't watch the RNC, which was all about demonizing Joe Biden, and have forgotten, I guess, that Donald Trump was an OG birther. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama need never be kind about that man for saying what he did about them.
I don't want to hear a word from any MAGA Republican, or really anyone, that the Democratic Party is being too mean to poor little Donald Trump, who we say on this show is the oldest person to ever run for president, but at the same time, he is an absolute insecure child. Donald Trump sent a violent mob to attack our Capitol on January 6th. He is a convicted felon. He tried to steal the voices and votes of millions of Americans in Michigan, in Nevada, in Arizona, in Georgia, in Pennsylvania. I don't want to hear anything that we are treating Donald Trump too harshly when we speak the truth about his dangerous agenda, his failed record, and his lack of character. That is absolute nonsense. And Americans are starting to realize just how dangerous Donald Trump is. Maybe they're not realizing as much as they are remembering, because how could we forget how damaging Donald Trump was just 4 years ago? Not only his failures as president, but the division that he caused in this country that we cannot go back to. And I think Donald Trump now knows that he is losing. He knows that Kamala Harris is leading. He knows that she is surging, and it is driving him crazy. And that's why he's unraveling in these speeches. And it's not just me who believes that. Donald Trump would tell you that himself right here.
No, they really were nasty. And then they say to me, sir, please stick to policy. Don't stick to personality. You should be nice to people, sir. You have to be nice. I call them up, my geniuses, they get paid a fortune. Actually, not that much. But I call up my people. I say, they're knocking the hell out of me, and you say I shouldn't get personal. I have to get personal, don't I? I have to get personal. I have to get personal. They get personal. But I'm going to do my best. So they're allowed to get personal with me, but I'm not allowed to get personal to them. They call me names that are so bad. Our great First Lady says, but you're not that way, darling. They love our great First Lady, I will tell you that. They do. They do. But darling, you're not that way. I said, I know that. And if I say something just slightly out of order, like, she didn't do a very good job last night, please never, ever mention look or anything like that. If you ever say, she didn't look really great, that's the end of your political career, so I wouldn't say a thing like that.
Not only did Donald Trump admit that he's losing, saying that Democrats are knocking the hell out of him, which I absolutely love, I feel like Michelle Obama, in her speech from this week, made it very clear that when they go low, we go high, doesn't mean avoiding the truth. We don't have to stay high or get high. We don't have to go high by not saying that Donald Trump isn't a convicted felon. He is a convicted felon. We don't have to not say that he's a threat to democracy. He is a threat to democracy. We can say that he is dangerous, and that's not going low. It's not going low to speak the truth about the dangers of Donald Trump, the failures, the destruction he already caused. There's nothing wrong with that. And for calling out his lack of character, his narcissism, his racism, his sexism, his misogyny every single day, talking about why his character alone makes him unfit to be president. And Donald Trump would tell you that. He knows that he is losing this race because of his lack of character, because of himself. His own advisors are telling him to shut up, to stop making the personal attacks, to stop really being himself, because they know that is a losing policy. They know that he's going to lose like that. And what does that make Donald Trump do? It makes him want to do it more. It makes him want to levy more personal attacks, to act more unhinged. And I invite you to continue, Donald, because it's really great for us. And what's bad for you is good for democracy. So keep yapping away. We'll keep cutting ads of it, and you'll keep embarrassing yourself, and we will move forward with Kamala Harris, because we're not going back. And if you want to support that message, make sure to hit that subscribe button, to leave a like on this video. It really goes a long way. And if you want to add a little extra layer of support, you can hit that join button, become a member of this channel. It is a way to support us every month. And as a college student, it really goes a long way. And until next time, I'll see you soon.